A voiceover expert has found another tampering in the Harry and Meghan series. The Sussexes have edited the Queen's speech in such a way that they have changed its meaning to suit their plot. Royal fans are outraged. Experts have discovered that the Netflix documentary Harry and Meghan appears to have edited the Queen's speech in a way that completely altered its meaning. This was noticed by a communications specialist who was quick to point out the inaccuracy. By the way, that's not the only trick the show's creators have pulled, which has already been exposed. The first 3 episodes of the documentary series, which were released last week, detailed Harry and Meghan's relationship with each other and with the royal family. At one point, voice coach Susie Ashfield noticed something unusual about the segment with the Queen. The first episode of the show includes an excerpt from Elizabeth's speech on the occasion of her 21st birthday, in which she says, "I declare to you all that my whole life, whether long or short, will be devoted to the service of our great imperial family, to which we all belong." The speech of the future monarch, who ascended the throne 4 years later, was broadcast from South Africa on 21 April 1947. The then Princess Elizabeth uttered her famous phrases, which reflected what many believe to be the principles of service that would guide her for the rest of her life. She recalled them in her official speech on the 70th anniversary of Elizabeth I's accession to the throne on 6 February 2022. Later in the episode, as Ashfield pointed out, the speech was incorporated back into the narrative, only this time with redacted words that now read "to serve you." According to Susie, this completely changes the meaning of the statement. "I don't know what the lesson here is, but I suppose if you're going to speak and it gets recorded, there's a chance you could be misquoted, your words could be taken out of context, or, as in this case, some part could be deleted to change the meaning of the statement itself," Ashfield points out. "So make sure it doesn't happen to you. And if it does happen to you, remember that there will be people who will notice it." Observers conclude that the changes in the text were made deliberately to emphasize the basic idea put forward by the Sussexes. Throughout the Netflix series, the Duke and Duchess talk about a pact supposedly made between the British royal family and their subjects. According to the couple, it is about providing information about the lives of the royals, in exchange for the maintenance of their needs. From a Treasury.the Harry and Meghan show also relentlessly presses the subject of racism, talking about the colonial past of the British Empire, and hinting at some connection of this fact to Meghan's encounter with racist comments on the net. Underneath Ashfield's video, in which she demonstrates the tricks of the montage, one commenter remarked, "Jesus, it feels like the whole Netflix series is going to be dishonest." However, another user disagreed. In both statements she is committed to imperialism. The meaning of this is the same whether she is also in your service or not. Some even called the Commonwealth a Empire 2.0 nation. We're all used to seeing the Duchess of Cambridge wearing the famous sapphire ring formerly owned by Princess Diana. However, before her engagement to Prince William, Kate wore a different piece of jewelry without removing it. Kate and Prince William's romance began when they were students together at the University of St. Andrews. After a 10-year relationship, Prince William proposed to her in 2010. The Duke of Cambridge gave Kate an engagement ring that once belonged to Princess Diana. The spectacular sapphire jewelry instantly became iconic. However, long before they were married, William gave Kate one special ring that she never wore after the marriage ceremony. It was a Victorian rose gold ring that the Duke of Cambridge had given to Kate when she was a student. She loved it very much and always wore it on her middle finger. It first came into the picture at a graduation ceremony in 2005. The ring was clearly a symbol of their strong bond, but after William proposed to her in 2010, Kate never wore it again. In an interview before the wedding, Prince William jokingly noted that he gave Kate the ring to his mother to make sure she wouldn't miss their wedding. The Duchess of Cambridge now often wears Lady Di's ring, complete with a gold engagement ring. Major Shan took it upon himself to arrange his eldest daughter's life, and in his opinion, there was no place for a future king in it. The fate of Charles and Camilla is not to be envied. Controversy surrounding their relationship persisted for decades. Even when Charles divorced Diana and Camilla divorced Andrew, there were many obstacles in the way of the lovers. For example, Mrs. Parker Bowles's father, Major Bruce Shand. Camilla's father was a loyal officer in the British Army, fought bravely in the Second World War, rose to high rank, and received 2 military crosses, a prestigious officer's award. Despite this, he was described by those around him as a shy man. He was captured by the Nazis in Egypt and remained there until the end of the war. Bruce then returned to Britain and finally married his beloved Rosalind Cubitt. The couple had 3 children. Camilla was the eldest daughter, Annabelle was the middle daughter, and Mark was the youngest son. When the children were born, Major Shand decided to leave military service to be closer to family. Bruce went into the wine business and things were going well. In the early 1970s, the retired officer appeared in a new role. Bruce Shand became Vice Lieutenant of East Sussex. This meant that he was entrusted with all the care of the royal family during their visits to the area entrusted to him. This, coupled with Bruce's illustrious military career, made the Shand family's status truly high. In 1966, Camilla met Andrew Parker Bowles, a lieutenant in the regiment of the Royal Horse Guards. They began a romance, but Andrew was away a lot, and the relationship was not permanent. Camilla's father was not happy with this state of affairs. The war hero wanted Andrew, like a gentleman, to marry his daughter and forget about other relationships. Sally Bedell Smith, author of Prince Charles' Passions and Paradoxes of an Extraordinary Life, wrote that Bruce Shan was on friendly terms with his brother Andrew Parker Bowles. Together they promoted the publication of news of the couple's engagement in the Times, which eventually led Andrew to propose to Camilla. Miss Shan said yes, and in the summer of 1973 her father walked her down the aisle. For a long time, family life between the Parker Bowles couple seemed quiet, but in the early 1990s, as the Welsh marriage began to publicly crumble, word got out about the rekindled relationship between Charles and Camilla. And Major Shonda was not happy with this news. Bruce was even rumored to have had a private meeting with the Prince of Wales, during which he rebuked the heir apparent for ruining his daughter's life. The Guardian wrote that the officer brought His Highness to tears. As for Camilla's mother, she came from a noble family. Her father was Roland Cubitt, a prominent member of the British aristocracy, 3rd Baron Ashcombe. Rosalind's mother, Sonia Cubitt, was one of the daughters of Alice Keppel, the famous mistress of King Edward VII. This worried not only the Windsors, but the Shans themselves. Apparently, Camilla's malleable character, took after her mother Rosalind, has been described as an exceptionally sweet and patient woman. She worked in an adoption agency, often volunteering to help children with disabilities at the Kylie Heritage Foundation. The Shans' happy marriage lasted 48 years before Rosalinda passed away in 1994. She did not witness her eldest daughter's divorce, a wave of resentment against the lovers, and her second wedding. Charles and Camilla's battle for public approval. Bruce watched alone. It was he who finally forced the Prince of Wales to take the serious step and marry his beloved 3 decades after meeting. Major Shand remained distrustful of the future king, but could not allow his daughter to continue living in a state of uncertainty. Charles and Camilla registered their marriage in 2005, and in 2006 Bruce Shand was gone. The Duke of Sussex experienced great grief at a young age, but according to a royal biographer, Princess Diana's youngest son could not talk openly about his feelings with his family. Prince Harry was just 12 years old when his mother, Princess Diana of Wales, died in a car crash in Paris. The loss left a deep mark on the Duke of Sussex's life, which still reverberates to this day. However, the saddest thing was that the young prince was unable to open his heart and tell even his closest people about his worries. Even though Prince Harry and his brother Prince William had a good relationship with their father's second wife, they still took the pain of loss hard and never forgot their mother, trying to keep her memory alive as the nation's princess. In 2017, Prince Harry felt the need to speak out, as by then Princess Diana's son had grown and become fully aware of what had happened. The Duke of Sussex's biographer Angela Levine wrote in her book Harry Conversations with the Prince that at the time he felt trapped by his situation, and didn't know how to behave or how to deal with the pain and longing for his mother. He really needed someone to talk to, but it was hard to find an emotionally available person in his environment. Prince Charles certainly didn't fit that role. He was infatuated with Camilla Parker Bowles, and had created a new and improved version of himself, Levine wrote. Prince Harry was also unable to discuss his feelings with Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip, who, though they loved Princess Diana, were always wary of her over-emotionalism, and believed that all their feelings should be kept to themselves.